My front cover displays many of the codes and conventions of real magazines such as Mayhem, Compass South and etc. For example, my magazine has a masthead in a serif font that spreads across the top of the page. The cover image is a mid-shot of a model using extra diegetic gaze to draw readers in. There are lots of cover lines giving away small amounts of information which are evenly distributed around the cover image. The tagline is positioned underneath the masthead, however my tagline is longer than the conventional length because I found it difficult to sum up the magazine in a shorter phrase. There is a date and barcode on the front cover and it is clear that the magazine is free. There is an inset image in the bottom left corner. There is a clear colour scheme of black, orange and white which contributes to the house style which is continued throughout. Here is a front cover of etc. magazine. My magazine uses the codes and conventions displayed on this front cover. For example, my masthead font is similar to the one used here. Here is a front cover of Mayhem magazine. My front cover uses some of the codes and conventions displayed on this front cover, such as the banner. However, this front cover has used lots of different fonts for the cover lines, whereas my front cover is more simple in font choices, so I have challenged some of the conventions of this magazine. Here is a front cover of Berkshire Life. My magazine develops the codes and conventions of this magazine, such as the use of a mid-shot of a model with extra diegetic gaze as the cover image. I think that this is an effective cover image because it draws the reader in, which is why I decided to use the codes and conventions of this magazine. My contents page also uses many of the codes and conventions of real magazines. For example, there is a variety of inset images which link to stories in the magazine. The copy is arranged in columns. There is a clear heading at the top of the page in a large point size, and the font has continued from the masthead. There are page numbers on the inset images to link them to pages in the magazine. The magazine name and date are displayed at the top. Here is a contents page from etc. magazine. My magazine reflects the codes and conventions shown here. For example, I have decided to create a collage of inset images as shown here. I have also used colour for the stories in a similar way to this magazine. However, this contents page is spread over 2 pages, whereas mine is only on 1 page. Here is the contents page from Mayhem magazine. My layout challenges the codes and conventions of this magazine since I have positioned my copy on the bottom half of the page, whereas this magazine has placed the copy in the middle. I did not like this layout, which is why I decided to challenge these codes and conventions when I created my contents page. My double page spread uses conventions of real magazines. The copy is arranged in columns and short paragraphs within the columns. Drop cap has been used for the first letter of the copy. There is a clear headline at the top of the page. There is a large main image and smaller inset images to illustrate the copy. A regular kerning and leading has been used throughout. A formal font and point size has been used for the copy. There are page numbers at the bottom of each page. There are also pull quotes to add emphasis to interesting points of the copy. The magazine name is displayed at the top of the page. There is a stand first in a different font to the copy. There is a byline telling the reader who wrote the article. Here is a double page spread from etc. magazine. My double page spread uses the codes and conventions displayed here, such as the main image and the use of columns to organise the copy. This is a clip from the top of the etc. double page spread. I have used this convention in my double page spread by putting exclusive on the top right corner of the page. Here is a double page spread from Mayhem. Mayhem is a free magazine like mine, and so this double page spread has an advert. My double page spread does not have an advert, but there would need to be adverts on some of the pages to ensure that the magazine earns revenue. Here is another double-page spread from Mayhem. This double-page spread has an insert image, which is a convention which I have used in my double-page spread. The codes and conventions of billboard adverts are more flexible in comparison to the codes and conventions of magazines, but there are some general rules which I identified in my research. My billboard is eye-catching and colourful due to the firework images. The point size is large enough to be read from a distance. A slogan is used along the bottom and links to the product. The product being advertised is clearly featured on the billboard. The billboard design is clear and attractive. Here is a billboard advert for Elle magazine. This is the only billboard I could find that advertised a magazine. My billboard uses the conventions of this billboard by displaying the front cover of the magazine on the billboard. Here is a billboard advert for Wonder Bra. This billboard has a catchy slogan. I decided to use this convention for my advert by putting a slogan on my billboard. Here is a billboard advert for an animal charity. This billboard is very eye-catching. I decided to make my billboard eye-catching by using the firework images to grab people's attention. Radio adverts are another example of media with a set of codes and conventions which are less clear than those of magazines. However, from my research I identified some key features which I have included in my radio advert. For example, the radio advert's duration is 37 seconds. The voiceover has a lively and upbeat tone. There is a jingle used throughout the advert and a firework sound effect at the end. The voiceover is also persuasive and strong. There is lots of information, but it is largely focused and to the point to ensure that listeners remained engaged throughout.
Want to know about the best local events around Havant? Want inside knowledge on the people, music, food and drink in your area? Then don't forget to pick up your free copy of Spark. Spark is packed with local news, events and reviews, exciting competitions, as well as fantastic lifestyle, fashion and health features to keep you in the know. Want to get more out of living in Havant? Then Spark is the magazine for you. Find Spark at your local supermarket or train station every month to discover what Havant has to offer. Spark, the community magazine that fires the imagination.
Here is a radio advert for Dogs Trust. My radio advert uses the codes and conventions of this radio advert since they are both approximately the same length. I have also used positive background music like this advert, and I have ensured that I have repeated the name of the product frequently. Here is a radio advert for Coca-Cola. My radio advert uses some of the codes and conventions of this radio advert, such as the use of a slogan at the end. However, my radio advert is more informative than this one because my product is not as established as Coke. Overall, I think that I have been successful in producing media products which resemble real media products. My main task looks professional because I have used many of the codes and conventions of real magazines. The fact that my magazine has a distinct and coherent house style makes it look like a real magazine and helps to establish a new brand. My billboard has built on this brand created by the magazine by using the same colour scheme and tagline for the slogan so that it looks cohesive. The radio advert is successful because it further emphasises the magazine and its tagline, and the use of the background music and firework sound effect make it fun and catchy.